that you want to lock in mentally. I don't know everything, so I approach each day like that, whether it's 100% or 50%. That'll give me the ability to stay locked in.
What's it like for you to be back in training camp? I mean, did you miss? Some guys wouldn't say that they miss it, but
I missed it. I missed it. When you take a year off, almost a year, it felt like a year. You miss everything about it. The hard days, the easy days, good, bad. I'm just happy to be out here.
What does it mean for you just to be out here and be in this environment and be able to know that you're a step closer to getting back into rare form?
Just to be out here with the team, man, feel good. Just to have that camaraderie that I missed out on last year. Going through the camp, the dog days. Just to be out here with the team, just feel great to be back at work with them.
Yeah, in addition to that, what's the biggest gap you feel like you have to fill in? Physical part, being on the field because you missed all of last season, catching up on the playbook. What's that biggest gap you feel like you need to fill in here?
No gap. Just I would say chemistry, maybe. Chemistry, trust. Probably those probably the biggest thing. But no gap as far as the playbook. I don't know, conditioning. I'm caught up to speed.
Cam, with Kyron coming back from injury, also obviously it's not the same situation that you went through last year, but still having to be on the sideline right now.
Yeah.
Have you taken on sort of a mentorship role with him in that regard? And also, what does it mean to have him kind of ghost repping back there with you guys as you go?
Just being there whenever he need me. Just being there if he need to talk or if he got a question for me. Just being there when he need me. He's been handling it very well. We got a good team. He'll be back on the field in like a couple weeks, I think. So after a surgery. That doesn't happen, but it's happened twice here with our staff, so it's just a credit to our staff and how hard they work and how hard he's worked to get back. So, tilt my head to Kyrie.
Hey, Cam, listen, it's got to feel good, man, to have the whole off season, be back ready, healthy. You got to feel great. Now, when you first came back last year, your first game back, buddy, you were delivering the hits. People were paying for those tackles, and we were watching them. We were all like gasping, going, "Can he keep this up?" Did it affect you at all? Did it slow you down at all? Were you ready?
That's what I do.
You were delivering them hits, man. I'm telling you, buddy, I haven't seen anybody run like that in a long time.
Get ready for a lot more of it then.
All right, bud. Promise.
Yes, sir, I promise.
As you went through the last year, is there anything that maybe surprised you that you missed, or just like maybe something small that kind of got you through that year?
I know what got me through, just work, prayer, having a good support system around me, as far as my injury. But I'm back now. I want to leave that in the past, so look on to the future.
After your rookie season, Cam, they talked about expanding. The plan was to really expand your role last season. Didn't get the opportunity to implement all that, but is that kind of what you feel the plan is going into this year? And is it happening? Are you getting
100%? Yeah, 100%. Whether it's runs, passes, screens, whatever I need to do, whenever my number's called, whether it's from the slot, the outside receiver, to the backfield, I'll be ready, whatever it is.
Yeah, how about the competitive environment, but also the in between you guys with this running back group, you guys working together. The quarterbacks have their own room, you guys kind of have your own group. Can you maybe pull back the curtain and tell us what that's like with you guys right now?
What do you mean? Just
between the running backs group, what's it like, the confidence you guys give each other, but also the competition side of it? You guys to be number one.
It's just a part of it. Obviously you want to compete to make each other better, but we're not competing with each other. You know what I mean? Obviously it's just to make each other better. So we don't really look at it as competition. We just look at it as work. We all here for the same goal, working towards one goal, and that's to be Super Bowl champs again.
And when we talked to you in the spring, you mentioned not being satisfied with how you played in those 5 games.
Yeah.
So as you're getting back to it here in training camp, what does that standard look like as far as the level you want to play personally?
Much higher, at a much higher level. I know I expect that. I expect me to play at a much higher level, the team, coaches. So I just want to go out, give myself the best chance personally, to perform, do what I do best, and that's make plays. So whether that's in the film room, whether that's training room, I don't know, whatever it is, I'm putting my best foot forward.
Cam, with you down last season, the Rams picked up Sony Michel.
Yeah.
What did you learn from Sony Michel last season, if anything at all?
How to stay poised, with Sony in our room, he showed me how to stay poised, good days, bad days, good games, bad games. to just show me how to stay poised. You know, Sony's a great leader. I'm eager to see what he'll do in Miami. I'm ready to watch him play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Have a good day. Bobby, how does it feel to be out here in camp? Obviously, a very different location, very different routine, but it seems like you're really checking in with a lot of guys, a lot of teammates, especially during the stretching portions, getting to know everybody pretty well.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, like I said, the weather, the weather is a lot different than Seattle. I think we even had some rainy days over there, so it's nice to be out here in the sun. The guys are great. It's been fun getting to know everybody, getting to know the coaches, learning the playbook. It feels good to be out here.
Bobby, when you were at Colony, how big did you allow your dreams, your goals to get as it relates to the game of football? Kind of what's it like being back home in comparison to that?
Man, when I was at Colony, we was just trying to get to college, to be honest. We were like, my class was the first class to go freshman through to senior, so I was just trying to get to college. And so once I got to college, I think that's when the dreams started to open up more. And I think it's just surreal being back here because I was just thinking about it. Although the Rams were in St. Louis, there were so many Rams fans in the area. And so to be back here, to play in front of family and be close to family, and it's definitely a surreal feeling.
Bobby, calling the plays with the walkie-talkie and learning the system, how's that been for you so far?
Walkie-talkie's kind of funny. But no, normally it's in our helmet, but because we doing a little walkthrough, so I got to do it through the walkie-talkie. But it's funny because Rod talks a lot of trash in the walkie-talkie too. So it's been cool. The adjustment's been really easy.
With the walkie-talkie, with the helmet, you can't usually talk back because it's just coming one way. So if you have the walkie-talkie, do you ever?
I tried. They cut that portion off. So they must have knew I was gonna say something back. So I tried to hold the button and I didn't get no static back. So we'll work on that.
And that's a role. I'm sorry. That's a role you're expecting to continue moving forward. That green dot. I think that was the expectation when you came in, was that you'd be that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the Mike linebacker. That's all I know. So
these guys are all trying.
I got you.
Oh,
no, go ahead.
Okay. These guys, I know the guys that have been here are all trying to learn you, and how you move, how you think. What's it been like for you? Do you have to learn these guys, or do they just kind of follow your lead?
Nah, I got to learn them because they had a way established way before I got here. So for me, it's my job to kind of understand everybody that's around and understand the way they've done things over the year and just kind of add a little bit of experience when needed. But I've definitely been more focused on learning them than the opposite.
Bobby, you obviously played with some great players out in Seattle. Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson. How does it feel to be ranked the greatest Seahawk of all time, according to Oregon Sports Fans?
Have you heard yet?
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
I guess that's news to me.
So how's that one?
It's an honor, I guess. You know what I mean? It's cool. I mean, I play with a lot of great players, so I think our team that we had will never be matched. The guys that we play with will never be matched, in my opinion. And so, that group of guys, us being able to be around for each other for a long time, like I think it was about 7 years before we kind of started dropping off.
A lot of expectations on you to fill holes here in this defense, and we're all really excited. As journalists, we have a lot of ink. We know we're going to get a lot of work out of you, Buzz. But we know as fans that we're going to get your blood, your heart, your tears, and we're all grateful that you're here. But with a lot of holes now in the defense and more coming, I mean, there have been some recent what do you call it? New guys that will not be there when the first game kick off. How do you expect to fill in those holes? What will you do to make up for the big gaps now in the defense? The line, I'm speaking to the line and the defensive line.
We're all professionals, to be honest. Yeah. So everybody's preparing. This is what the training camp is for, is to maximize your game and maximize this time. There's a lot of guys that, we're waiting for a lot of opportunities behind the guys that you were talking about. So a lot of the young guys are going to get an opportunity to showcase how special we are. Like, I think we have a lot of great depth at every position, which is, why I'm excited to be here. And so I think we'll be fine when September 8th comes.
All right.
Now that you've gone through the summer and you're here at your first training camp with the Rams, what has stood out about this team and maybe the standard and culture that has been set here?
I think it's just that the culture. I think how close everybody is. I think it's not just the players either. It's the coaches. Everybody. The coaches are close to one another. The players are close to one another. The accountability is off the charts. I think because you have that cohesiveness and everybody being close, it allows you to get checked. You know, when you need to get checked, and you don't take it personally because you know the guy that's checking you wants the best for you. And so I think that's, you know, a symbol of a great team, just being able to hold each other accountable and respect each other. And, you know, from top to bottom, from the coaches to the players, everybody's on the same page. And that energy has just been refreshing for sure.
It's kind of like a chess match between you and Matthew Stafford out there. How's that been going?
It's been nice. It's been nice. I'm still learning my tools, but we'll be good.
Bobby, talking about Sean, you know, you already know him. He has so much energy. Is the energy still the same in this camping, or is it super high?
I think it's been a little bit higher because, like, normally when I see Sean, it's you know, we're going against each other. So now we get to kind of put some stuff together to kind of feed off of one another. But, you know, his energy has been crazy. We've been in constant communication. You know, even the off season, reaching out, just checking in and stuff like that. It's been cool. You know, these last couple of months, being able to be coached by him has been a blessing for sure.
All set?
Good. Appreciate it.
Sir, thank you. Appreciate it.
No, you know, it's kind of just using this as a way to get their legs back underneath them, but stress them on some stuff that maybe we're not giving each other offensively and defensively, still pushing our installs a little bit, but our guys handled it really well. And, you know, you can do this approach when you have the right kind of guys in leadership like Bobby and our other veterans. But it's an important day, but it's still very early on in the process for us.
Sean, I don't think I saw.
Rob or Sean Robinson.
Yep,
today.
just using that to give those guys off their legs, you know, because it is truly a mental day, and you know, want to be smart with those guys that have a lot of experience. You know, there was a handful of guys that we kind of held out. Brian Allen came out late, but guys like Tyler Higbee. So we took a kind of a precautious approach, you know, with some of those guys that have played a lot of ball, that we felt like it was going to give them a chance to get their legs back, have a good practice tomorrow, and then a day off following that.
Because you know, Sean, what it takes to climb to the top of the mountain, what you guys did last season. Is there anything different that you're doing this season, and can you gauge maybe where you are in that learning curve heading into this next season?
I think it's still pretty early on. You know, I would say, you know, it truly is about just taking things one step at a time. It's cliche, but I do believe that that's true. And it's all about the people that you're doing it with. You know, there are some things that, you know, need to go in your favor, staying healthy, having some breaks go your way. But in terms of what we can control through 3 days of actually being out on the field with these guys, I've been really pleased. We're further along in terms of the installs and some of the things that we're able to get done offensively and defensively than we've been in previous years. What that means leading into September 8th, we'll have a better idea once we get closer to that.
Sean, with the rookie Daniel Hardy, how's he kind of stood out for you so far?
He's done a good job. He's got great effort. You can see the athleticism. I think he's getting more and more comfortable with the things that we're asking him to do, snap in and snap out. Thad is, you know, such a good coach with those guys to really be able to provide clarity when going from outside linebacker to rush in and some of our sub packages. And so Daniel's a guy that definitely has flashed.
With a guy like Bobby Wagner, what's it like? Because you've spent 5 years trying to exploit every, you know, thing about his weaknesses, right, and pick him apart, and now you've got him in the fold. So how do you balance that? What do you focus on now that you've got him on your team?
Well, I don't know if there was any weaknesses to exploit. I think you're really just trying to figure out ways to eliminate the impact that he has on the game, Gary. He's been such a productive player for such a long period of time, but you know, there are some, you know, subtleties and differences. It's football is still football, and he's been a great player at a high level over the course of his career. But there are some subtleties and some different things that we'll be asking of him as it relates to whether it's blitzing, some of the coverage responsibilities. And so really, as you know, Gary, I like to pick these guys' brain, you know, really learn how did he see our stuff, you know, what's he seen from the landscape of the league, what are some things that they've done that maybe we could incorporate. And, you know, he's such a mature, impressive human being that I've really just enjoyed getting to know him, the way he carries himself day in and day out. But his presence, his ability to communicate with a poise, I think rubs off on the rest of the guys when you try to create some frenetic paces, especially in these types of settings. And I've been really impressed with a guy that he's been in Seattle. They've had, for the most part, very similar system continuity throughout his career there. And then it's very different in how quickly he picked up the terminology. And, those guys where the game just makes sense to them, the game makes sense. And they work at it, and that's kind of what the interaction's been, but really enjoyed it so far.
So, Coach, I know it's a little bit too early because this season coaching staff feels like fit, or is there still some adjustments going on?
I feel really good about these guys, Claudia. It's a bunch of great guys that really want to pour into these players, help them reach their highest potential, do it in a demanding, positive way. And I was just saying to a couple guys the other day, I feel really grateful for the new additions. Some of the guys that are here for had been here earlier, whether it's Liam or Greg Olson, and then a lot of the new coaches have seamlessly fit in, and I think that's a credit to some of the foundational stability that's been in place. But feel great about the coaches. Anytime you feel as good as you do about our players and our coaches, that helps me sleep a lot better at night, and certainly that's the case right now.
Coach, hard-hitting stuff right here, but you're a happy newlywed.
Oh, yeah.
1 month later, you were away for 2 weeks at camp. What was that conversation like with the missus before you came out here?
She already knows how this thing works. We've been together for a long time, but fortunately, she had some influence on the days off. So, no, I'm kidding, but she is definitely the boss at home. So we'll get to see each other, and it's not too far away. So definitely miss her, but I think she was probably ready for a little bit of a break from me, actually.
Already. Same thing, Coach. I've been married 30 years. This is your face in 30 years, pal.
Oh, no!
Last one, Rashad. Last one. Coach, Bobby's a local high school guy,
Yep.
high school here. You've had a few of those guys. What have you noticed that maybe a little bit different about them? Just, I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing or just being here in LA around family and friends?
I don't know that you notice anything different. They got a couple more passes that they're asking for in the VIP family tent, stuff like that. But I think a lot of people love to, I know if I grew up here, I'd want to come back here. It's such a, the weather's great, people are friendly, a lot of good things going on. So it's great to have those guys, but I feel like we've got a bunch of special guys, and it's good to have those guys back at home. All right? Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, all you, man.